Hey everybody, welcome to TT.TKO. You're here with T-Bone and the Squid. I am T-Bone.
And I'm the Squid. For today's debate, we've got lined up Bob Barker versus Alex Trebek, two very well-known game show hosts. I will be arguing for Alex Trebek.
And I will be arguing for Bob Barker. Alright everybody, we are doing this right now. Matt, I'm sorry, you're stuck with a Canadian, which kind of puts you at a default already. I'm just playing. I have nothing against Canadians. But
But I mean, you're
really,
stuck with the geriatric, so I think that there's sort of a
oh,
trade-off.
oh my goodness. You're going with the age debate? That's what you're arguing right now?
Hey, that's just part of it. You brought up the Canadianness, I brought up the geriatricness. I'm
I'm
just
just gonna let
saying.
you know, Hugh Hefner is a geriatric. That man gets as much as Bob Barker. Bob Barker, the Hugh Hefner of game shows.
I think Richard Dawson is more akin to the.
No way.
He kisses women, man. Have you ever seen him kiss
Yeah, he
those women?
kisses women, and that's fine for him. Yeah, yeah. Richard Dawson has that going for him. But all I'm saying is Bob Barker and Barker's beauties. You know how many of those he's kind of like hit up in his day.
All right, man. But see, Bob Barker does not have a mustache.
Neither does
Have you?
Alex Trebek.
Okay, you're right in that now he does not.
Um,
But he still has that power and presence that he had when he did have that mustache. And you can't deny that that mustache was killer.
It was killer, but that just kind of goes to show you how Alex Trebek is such a failure because he shaved the mustache away. His power, his presence, all
But he
just
didn't.
gone.
I
And the
think
funny
he
thing is,
see.
even when Will Ferrell like did his imitation of Alex Trebek, which is admittedly hilarious, he has to put the mustache on just to get the same effect, the same genius of
See,
it.
I disagree. I think that the reason Alex Trebek shaved was to prove to everyone that he didn't need it to be as good as he was at
And
what he did.
and then he was greatly mistaken.
No, Jeopardy is still fucking awesome, and it's because of
Yeah,
Alex Trebek.
it's not because of Alex Trebek. I
Oh, are
mean,
you kidding me? Who
uh,
else do you think? Who else could actually
Anybody
host
who
that
can read
show?
a question. Because
No,
all I'm going to tell you,
absolutely
no,
not.
this is what I'm going to tell you.
Absolutely
Trivial
not.
Pursuit is a fun game to play. I love playing Trivial Pursuit. You know why? Because I love trivia. There's trivia nights all over,
Yeah,
like bars all
Trivial
over the
Pursuit,
place because it's
Trivial
trivia.
Pursuit, Trivia
All
Nights.
all that's happening in Jeopardy is somebody is asking questions to three people and they're just a little bit harder, and that's about it.
Well, all you're
And it's
fucking doing,
all
all
you're
you're
doing.
doing,
You're putting a trivia night in front of me, and boom! Oh, great! I can go to a bar and do
well,
this right
all you
now.
do
I
in
don't
The
need Alex
Price is Right
Trebek.
is you guess prices on shit. How dumb is that? Anyone could host that fucking show. That's
Um,
dumb as hell.
I mean, obviously anyone can't host that show because they're
Oh no,
they're trying to
anyone
get
could
they're
host
trying to
that.
get Drew Carey to do it right now, and it ain't working.
Well, I mean, Drew Carey, yeah, probably a bad choice, but I'm just saying, anyone but Drew Carey could host that show. I could host that show.
You could not host that show
I
because you
could host.
you would get upset when they would get math problems wrong, whereas Bob
I would get
Barker makes
upset.
everybody.
I would get upset when people, wagered like $1 more than the other person because I fucking hate that
See,
shit.
therefore you cannot host the show, and like Bob
I
Barker
just,
sitting there
I
with a
would just
hundred
pick
dollars
those
in his
people.
pocket, waiting for you to reach in and grab the magic that is Bob Barker.
I'm
And
just saying.
and the most important point, other than Barker's beauties and the fact that Bob Barker is a pimp, the most important part or point that I am to make is that he single-handedly controls the pet population by
The
telling
what
these people
population?
the pet population
The
because
pet?
pet PET because he makes you go get your dog spayed or neutered. And
What are you
when
talking about
you
right now?
you don't know this, the Enterprise is right. Every episode he goes, and don't forget to get your pet to help control the pet population and getting your dog spayed or neutered.
I've never fucking seen that. That's
You've never seen
ridiculous.
that?
It's dumb as shit.
Whatever,
That's
it's
the dumbest
genius.
thing I've
Bob
ever.
Barker is a god. He controls the pet population. He's a genius.
Then
This
why
man
doesn't he host a better show? If he's so great,
because
why doesn't he have a show that's more fun?
he's using his greatness. And don't even. We're not gonna make this about Price is Right versus Jeopardy. Because here's my argument. Well, no, you're making my point for me because Alex Trebek needs a better game show to make him look just as good as Bob Barker does with a like lesser game show. Even though
But
that spinning wheel, the potential of somebody falling underneath that spinning wheel is like amazing. Like that makes it worth it for me.
see, I disagree. I think that quintessentially, when you boil things down to it,
Yeah,
really
boil them down, Matt. Boil
an
them down.
argument between Bob Barker and Alex Trebek is an argument between Price is Right and
No,
Jeopardy.
not at all.
Because yes, because the game show host defines the show, in my
Not
opinion.
necessarily
I
because
I
no,
think
not at all.
in
Not at
this
all
case,
because Jeopardy.
I'm not saying in general. I'm saying in this particular case.
Not no
Who else? I
no.
mean, like you say, they had Drew Carey hosting The Price is Right, and it's not working. No one can host that but Bob Barker. So I'm going to recant on what I said earlier. But I also would say that no one can host Jeopardy but Alex Trebek. They defined those game
Well, no, no.
shows.
Here's what I'll. Okay, when you define the game Jeopardy, you're not going to say Alex Trebek. You're saying this is how the game is played.
No, no,
But
no.
no, no, no,
I
no. But
say
I will agree that, and the reason why I don't think it's an argument is because these game shows have been along, and these hosts have been around so long that they have become like almost the symbols of the game show that they host. So you're arguing that the game shows make the host like that they're one and the same just because that when you mention the show it
I'm
like
saying I'm arguing the other way around. I'm saying that the host makes the game show.
no 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 and I mean and I understand that but I'm just saying just because when you say Price is Right you think Bob Barker or Jeopardy you think Alex Trebek does not make like you shouldn't be comparing Jeopardy versus Price is Right. You should be you can still compare them on two separate levels.
See, I still think of them in terms of the game shows that they represent, though.
Well, well, that's the funny thing is Alex Trebek never outside of Jeopardy. Bob Barker outside of Jeopardy. Remember that time he beat up Adam Sandler? I do because he wasn't on the game show.
Well,
Because he
see,
doesn't need a game show to
that's
define him.
here's the thing, though.
Here,
You know, the thing that we
here's that
learned,
thing. Here's that thing. You show me that thing. I want to see it.
the thing that we learned from the documentary Happy Gilmore is that Bob Barker
The
is a dick.
documentary. No, he's
Bob
not.
Barker is a total dick.
He's not a dick. He just wants to win. He's
He beat up
competitive.
Happy Gilmore.
He's a geriatric. Remember?
Okay, but that movie was what, 15 years ago?
It was
Excuse
not
me,
15 years ago.
documentary. It
You.
came out in 1994, didn't it?
No, it did not.
What year did it come out then?
I have no idea, but there's no way it came out in 1994.
I'm gonna Google this
Google
shit
this magic.
right now.
Do do do.
Okay, 1996. Still
19
13 years ago. 13 years ago.
How old is Bob Barker? Do you even have any idea?
I would guess late 70s, early 80s. So he was like
He
late
was
60s.
he was born in 1923.
Okay, that doesn't fucking help me because I don't want to do the math in
85.
my
He
head.
is 85. You don't want to do math, ladies and gentlemen. Matt
Okay,
Evans. It's a first.
so 13 years ago he was 72. I mean, at 72 you could still
72
cut.
beating up a
At
like
72
late
you
20
could
or
still
early
cut a bitch. I'm just saying. The fact is,
he
the
didn't need
fact
weapons.
is,
He didn't need weapons.
the fact is, he
Matt,
still beat
you
up.
name me a 72-year-old who can cut a bitch.
Hugh Hefner probably could.
Because and that's the thing, Bob Barker, the Hugh Hefner of game shows.
I still disagree.
Yeah, well, of
Just
course you
saying that
disagree.
Bob Barker is a total dick.
How is he a dick?
He beat up Happy Gilmore for no
He
reason.
totally deserved it. Happy Gilmore was sucking, and then Happy like just couldn't handle the pressure, and then so it just blew up from there. And Bob Barker defended himself like a man.
Defending himself like a man. God, he just beat him up for no reason.
I'm sorry, Matt. If you got beat up by a 72-year-old, I'm gonna laugh in your face.
It's okay. I would probably laugh in my own face.
Yeah, as you
That
should.
doesn't stop Bob Barker from being a dick. And Alex Trebek, he's a class act. He's
Bullshit.
not going to go down.
When
He's not gonna
like,
go
when
down
who
beating
when
up.
Who Wants
He-
to Be a Millionaire came out, he was such a dick to like Regis Philbin about the whole thing, like being an elitist about it. And don't get me wrong, I love Jeopardy more than Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but he didn't have to like make a scene about it. And Alex Trebek
I
did.
don't even remember him making a scene about it.
I do. It's in the presses.
The presses.
Boom. There's gonna be an image right now. Boom of them being dicks.
All right. Well, what's your final argument?
My final argument. I've made about 1,000 of them that are just legit completely.
okay.
Bob Barker could beat the crap out of a 20-year-old. He's got hot ladies around him. He controls the pet population. He even has a skinny microphone and makes it look like makes him look like a boss completely.
Yeah.
Alex
Yeah, he's
Trebek
got
hides behind a podium and that's it.
Penis near-
And he reads. That's all he does. He reads. He hides behind his podium and reads. Give me yours.
But you have to admit that Alex Trebek hosts not only the best game show on television, but he also has a really awesome, witty sense of humor about the whole thing. And he's not a total dick.
I don't know if that's awesome, and you know what? And best game show thing, that's debatable.
No, it's the truth. That's fact.
Debatable. Anything on the show is debatable. Done.
Boosh. All right, guys, that's it for this episode of TT.TKO.
We love your questions and your comments, so hit us up at TT.TKO.me@gmail.com.